Allah records in laylatul qadr. Laylatul qadr. Laylatul qadr in Ramadan, Allah writes new decrees for that year. That is why it's important for us to make dua in laylatul qadr. And that is why when someone is pregnant, it's good to make dua for that child. In relation to Allah writing, I'm going to tell you something. There are 5 stages of recording. 5 stages of recording. I already told you the one in the book of decree. That's everything, right? But there are specific things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not write them in a lawh al-mahfuz, but they are based on the lawh al-mahfuz. He comes down, for example, lawh al-mahfuz is one. Then you have after creation of Adam. When Adam alayhi salam was created, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sealed the decree of who shall end up in paradise and who shall end up in hellfire, and He knew who will go, but did not write it, nor the angels know till after we declared. Yani, when Allah created Adam, Allah took us out of the back of Adam alayhi salam. We were all souls. That's before He created us. And He said to us, I have already decided and written who's going to paradise and who has going to hellfire. But He did not record it. He said to everyone, as in the Quran, do you all bear witness that I am your Lord, worthy of worship, and that you will follow my message and my guidance? And we all said it, Muslim and non-Muslim. Then Allah recorded after that declaration, who will end up in paradise, who will end up in hell. That's the second recording that happened. How did He decide who's going to paradise and hell? Based on what He knew we were each going to do. So why did He make us go through it anyway? That's a question for next week, inshallah. Why did He put us here anyway, since He knows? Then a third creation, a third recording is in the womb. When you are in your mother's womb as a baby, at the age of 120 days, according to the authentic hadith in Sahih Muslim and Bukhari, 120 days, Allah sent an angel to write 4 things: your lifespan, how long you will live; your rizq, your provision, how much money you're going to get, how many skills you're going to get, what will you get out of this world and what you will not, how much, and whether you are going to end up in paradise or hellfire. That writing is not what Allah wants for you. It's what He knew about you. Why? We'll talk about it next week, inshallah. Number 4, Allah records in laylatul qadr. Laylatul qadr. Laylatul qadr in Ramadan, Allah writes new decrees for that year. That is why it's important for us to make dua in laylatul qadr. And that is why when someone is pregnant, it's good to make dua for that child. We'll talk about that another time, but dua has an effect on qadr. Dua has an effect on qadr. Number 5, a daily decree, daily recording. Allah says, كُلَّ يَوْمٍ هُوَ فِي شَأْنٍ. Every day Allah is decreeing a new happening. So that's why we say dua in the morning. Oh Allah, one of the du'as, for example, Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he used to say, for example, Allahumma inni as'aluka khayra hadha al-yawm a'udhu bika min sharrihi. Oh Allah, I ask you the best of this day and I seek refuge in you from the bad of it. And he used to make dua about goodness. And that dua makes a difference for when it is recorded. You might ask me, hold on a minute, how can your dua change the qadr? I say to you, Allah already knew and wrote that you're going to make this dua today, which will change what was originally supposed to happen. So at the end of the day, it's still there. No mistakes. No mistakes. But it's from you. It started with you and Allah recorded it. Do you understand? It started with you. Lastly, the 4 ways of reacting to qadr. Brothers and sisters, every time something happens, whether it's good or bad, and we usually focus on the bad. Well, at least it's the bad that you and I perceive. To Allah, there is no good or bad. It's to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's what you perceive. Sometimes we might see bad as good and good as bad in this life. Bad is when you disobey Allah and you start heading towards hellfire. That's the real bad. But to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when things happen to you in this life, some of them are out of your control, some of them are within your control. Always remember 4 things. Number 1, this inshallah will prepare us to have the strength in the face of any hardship, any calamity, any change in our life. Number 1, always remember, it could be that Allah has a plan for you. Allah may have a what? A plan. There is a plan why this didn't happen. There is a plan why it went that way. You will see soon, be patient. Or number 2, it could have been one of those tests that Allah is giving you for your hereafter. We all get tests. You want to earn Jannah? You're going to go through some examination. But that test will also strengthen you. You either pass it or you fail. So get ready. Probably it's a test for me. Number 3, suffering. So we're talking about suffering, let's say. Good may come out of this. Maybe Allah allowed you to do this or not allowed you because good is going to come out of it. Sometimes we head in a direction thinking that good will come out of it. Allah says, no, I'm going to take you that way. I'm going to guide you that way. You get guided that way. Yes, it's within your choices, but sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees that you deserve that good come out of this particular time. It can happen, and Allah directs you, but in harmony with your choices though. How? Allah knows. And you are guided in a direction by pre-measurement of Allah to bring out a better outcome for you. And that is why Allah says, عَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ. You may hate something when it's good for you. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ. You may love something when it's bad for you. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. You see, Allah knows. You don't know. So rely on Him. And lastly, it could be the result of a choice and free will that you made. Okay, if it's a choice and free will that you made, what do I do with it? Perfect. I learn from it. Every mistake you made is good. Don't think of it as bad. So long as you keep moving forward, don't stay stuck where you are. A baby. How does a baby learn how to walk, my dear brothers and sisters? Persistence. What else? Experience. No. I'll tell you how. Every time the baby fell when he was getting up, it didn't stop. There's persistence, keeps going, because babies, they don't think about consequences. Adults do. He gets up, or she gets up, then falls. The baby falls 1,000 times and learns 1,000 ways of how not to fall by falling 1,000 ways. Do you understand? A baby learns 1,000 ways of how not to fall by first falling 1,000 ways. I won't do that anymore because I'll fall. Do you understand? So in our choices and free will, relying on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we learn. And so long as Allah has given you a life to live, don't give up. There is a reason for you to live. You still have chances. And inshallah, we're going to bring up beautiful questions. But all the things I discussed today, the Prophet ﷺ said, hold on a minute. A person may reach paradise, then before they die, they do something and end up in hellfire. There are people who do the actions of the people of hellfire. Before they die, they change and end up in paradise. SubhanAllah, how do we explain that? How do we explain that, for example? Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, what do you mean that it's all up to you to pray or not pray? Doesn't Allah say, Yahdi man yasha wa yudillu man yasha? Allah guides whoever He wills and misguides whoever He wills. What's the meaning of that? Questions like this, inshallah. And many other questions that come up, such as, if God knows everything that's going to happen, why create us and make us go through it? We've got a series of misconceptions, inshallah, that next week we will answer bi'idhnihi ta'ala. I just left you with a bit of a cliffhanger because I want you to come back, inshallah, and invite your friends, because this is an important topic. We'll be repeating some things over and over in different ways until, inshallah, we get it and our hearts are rested at ease. I hope, inshallah, if you don't take anything from this lesson today except these 4 and 4, can you repeat them? 4 characteristics is Allah knew, willed, recorded, and created. And the 4 ways we react to qadr: Allah may have a plan, it could be a test for my hereafter, good is going to come out of this suffering, and number 4, it could be the result of my choices and free will, which I will learn from and get stronger. Good? Jazakumullahu khair wa sallallahu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa